Hi, this is Jerry Edmon, and this is Success in Life. I want to ask you a question. Are you a prepper? You know, a prepper, someone who stores away food or supplies in case some tragedy happens. You know, the fact is, disaster does happen. We've seen so much of it. I live down in Texas, and so we've had hurricanes that have come into the Gulf, Irma, Harvey, Katrina. You've seen all of those. There's been floods. There's winter storms. I was in eastern Oklahoma some time back, and they had an ice storm come, and it literally, that ice storm, I don't know if you've ever been in one of those, but it just literally coats everything, and it got on all of the power lines, and they just started bouncing. All the power lines started bouncing, and then just one by one they started popping, and it literally knocked those people back into the Stone Age. I mean, they had no electricity for weeks and weeks, and you just can't believe how much that we depend on electricity for almost everything. But there's also been tornadoes that have come through. In the county that I live in Bastrop County, we had a fire just a few years ago, and it destroyed over 1,600 homes. It burned over 34,000 acres, and it was incredible. What happened is that lightning hit a transformer, and when it did, it sparked. It was a really windy day. Actually, we were just coming off of a hurricane, and we were actually sitting on the back side of the wind. The wind rotates counterclockwise, and they really catch it strong when it starts off, but it goes up in circles and comes back around. And we were on the back side of that, and it was a really, really windy day. And lightning hit a transformer, the thing sparked, and I'm just telling you something, it got out of control. That fire was running so fast that no one could get in front of it and stop it. The sheriff's department, they would just go to the door and they would say, just run, just get out of here. I mean, there was no time. And my heart just broke for those people that were so helpless to do anything except just grab your kids and run. I mean, seriously, when you have minutes, what do you grab? What do you do? I remember after that great fire happened, because literally the ground just set and baked for days. And I was on a road which is kind of high up in our county, and I could see for miles. And the ground was just golden. The ground was just glistening with that golden look. And actually, what it was ashes and embers that were cooking and that were just burning as far as I could see. But you know, the fact is the unexpected does happen, and most people get caught off guard. And so you start hearing things about being a prepper. You know, how do you prepare for it in the event that something bad happens? Because like I said, most people are caught off guard. But the way to avoid that, or at least minimize it, is to simply prepare and make provision in advance. Now, most preppers today, when they talk, they're talking about economical collapse, no food, no supplies, and that's where many of them get really crazy. I mean, I've heard some people talk about getting guns and shooting people that tried to come and get their food. I mean, seriously? You mean to tell me that if somebody comes and says, we are hungry, would you feed us, that you're going to get your gun and shoot them? I don't even have words to describe to you how much you've lost your way. I am not that. I believe very strongly in being a prepper in the sense that I'm prepared for things, but I'm not that, and I don't want to be near anyone that is like that. You know, there are several logistical things that I believe you do need to do to prepare for any disaster. It's foolish to not be prepared. I mean, it's so easy to be prepared, because if you're not prepared, you not only hurt your own family, but you become a burden someplace else. If everything goes wrong, if everything goes south on you, suddenly you don't have anything prepared for you or your family. Well, you know, not only do you hurt yourself, but you become a burden to other people around you. So let's talk about this a moment. Am I a prepper? Well, I think that just needs to be defined a little bit. My idea of being a prepper is providing resources for my family and making provision, or at least a little bit of provision, for those that can't help themselves. You know, at our church dinners, we used to say, bring enough for your family and at least 2 more people. Now, you can't handle everybody. I certainly do not have a Messiah complex, and I don't suggest that you have one either. But I do believe that you should prepare enough that you can take care of yourself for a couple of weeks in the event something happens, and set aside enough in case somebody else around you, a neighbor, a friend, or somebody else, in case that they're not prepared. Because I'll tell you what, if all you're doing is gathering for yourself with the plans of hurting someone else, I don't want to be your friend. You know, I'm concerned about that kind of mindset. What kind of motivation would push you to have that? Do you have a mindset of just self-preservation, or are you planning to be a solution to the problem? Now, see, you probably already do this. You probably already are prepping in this way more than you realize. I've seen people keep a gallon of gas in their barn just simply in case somebody drove by that ran out of gas. I mean, that's being a prepper, and that's considering the needs of somebody else and not just yourself. You know, it's so easy. You could go to the hardware store, get you a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with the supplies that someone would need for an emergency, flashlights, batteries, etc. And then, if tragedy happens to someone, just give them the bucket. I mean, you made preparations for someone else. And I think that's so big for you right now. When you think of being a prepper, don't just think of yourself, but think about being a blessing in the midst of that. And the only way you can do that is to prepare that in advance. Don't just think of yourself when you plan ahead. Plan to be a blessing to someone else. You know, I talk to you a lot about success, being a successful person, doing successful things. Well, success isn't just preserving yourself. That's not just success, but preparing for other people, carrying other people, making provision for other people, being a solution to the problem. That's what I call success in life. Go for
it. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast about success in life. If you would like more information about this subject or other materials or resources offered by Jerry Edmon, please go to www.jerryedmon.com.